Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that my brother-in-law tried to sleep with me? Super long story. This happened a couple years ago, and I still feel like I went crazy. A little bit of context, I'm a 20-year-old female, my sister is a 22-year-old female, and my sister's now husband, 24-year-old male, have been friends since we were kids. We all grew up together going to church when my sister and her husband got together. I was so happy for them, and we all had a good relationship together. One day, out of the blue, we had a bonfire. We went outside, and my sister went back inside to grab the marshmallows. It ended up just being me and my brother-in-law. It was nothing out of the usual, sitting there quietly looking at the fire. He looks over to me and says, "I had a dream about you." I laugh and say, "Oh yeah? What was it about?" And he said, "Me and you did the dirty." I was so thrown off. I don't know what to think, what to say, what to do. I just sort of try to change the subject, but he keeps going. "You had red clothes on. You came into my room and got on top of me, and we did it. It was super hot. And are you sure you didn't come into my room last night?" Now, he always slept over. Him and my brother were really good friends, and he always slept over in the same house. I got kind of nervous, not knowing what to say. He said, "It was so weird, and I can't get it out of my mind." I just tell him, "Well, stop thinking about it, I guess," and try to change the subject. But he keeps going. It just felt so real and made me so doing. And he keeps asking me if I'm sure I didn't come into his room, because it had just felt so real. I just said, "No, that's weird, bah ha ha," and make an excuse that I had to run to the store to get chocolate for the marshmallows. As I'm getting into my car, I started it. He comes and opens the passenger door. He pops his head in and said, like, "Hey, don't tell your sister any of this. Haha, it was just a dream." I said, "Okay," in a skeptical voice and started driving. This continued for weeks, and he would constantly try to get me alone with him. And he said little things like, "Do you want to go do it?" And when I would say, "What are you talking about?" he would make an excuse and laugh it off. I would start recording him personally so my sister doesn't know that I'm making something up. There was one time he got drunk and asked me that question in front of my sister, and she got skeptical, but figured he meant something else. Here's the part where you may ask why I didn't say anything. Like I said, we were all growing up together. I loved my brother-in-law and my sister's relationship, and I could never imagine them not being together. They were about to move in with each other and get married. It was just heartbreaking for me to think about them not being together, and I didn't want my family to think I was lying. I was never close with some of my family members, and if they thought I was lying, that would ruin my other relationships. So I'm trying to keep it to myself. I didn't want them to break up, and I thought that that would be better, but it just made things worse. Months later, I was outside with my younger brother, and I don't know how it came out, but I started talking about it, and he said that I need to tell her. And I ended up just telling my older brother, who is close friends with my brother-in-law, and he told me he will talk to him and see what happened. I worked in the greenhouse, so while I was at work, my sister calls me crying. She tells me that my brother told her something, and she doesn't know what to think. She asked me what happened, and I tell her everything. She said she can't believe it. She doesn't know what to do. She puts my brother-in-law on the phone. He starts saying things like, "I would never do that. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you doing? My life is falling apart. Why are you lying? Why are you on drugs? I would never do anything like that. And you know it." I told him that he's lying. He just needs to tell the truth because he's only making it worse. He cried and played the victim. My parents get involved to see what happened, and I told them. And they kept asking me why I never told them before. And I just told them I didn't want to break them up. My dad said it's too late for them to break up because she's already pregnant. And why didn't you say something sooner? Because what if he does this again? I felt terrible. He ended up convincing my sister and all of my brothers that it never happened, and that I made it up to break up my family. Then called me a liar, an a-hole, for lying like that, for no reason, about my brother-in-law. To this day, they still don't believe me, and I still feel crazy. Am I the a-hole? Should I have kept it to myself? I personally would have recorded it and told her right away, because like that is not something I want my sister to be with. Like if he's talking about that with me, like what else is he doing? I just feel like that's very inappropriate. And personally, yeah, they've been friends since childhood, but she can find someone who actually values her and treats her better. Someone said not the a-hole. Never be alone with him again. If a similar situation happens again in the future, be sure to say something immediately. His behavior was inappropriate and should have been called out in the moment. Naming the action when it's happening is best. Sorry you don't feel like you could confide in anyone at that moment. Keep moving forward and surround yourself with people you can trust. Not the a-hole. Your family sucks for taking his word over yours. Someone else said not the a-hole. I bet he's cheating on her. My dad just came out and I don't know what to think. I'm 17 and today I stumbled upon an Instagram account that looked weirdly like my dad, but the bio said he was a trans woman. The last name matched my dad's and I looked closer at the picture, only to find out it really was him. I was completely shocked. This was in the middle of class too, so I don't know what to do. I ended up texting him asking what's going on, and I thought he would respond with confusion, but instead, he told me he's trans. I am in complete shock. My dad has been a very masculine figure in my life and saw no signs. My mother hasn't taken the news very well, and now I'm worried a divorce is coming. I'm so distraught. I'm a part of the LGBTQ community myself, but I'm so surprised that my 50-plus-year-old father from a southern community now identifies as a woman. I want to be supportive, but I feel so shocked. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm mourning the man I called my father, but he's still here. Note, I'm referring to my dad with masculine pronouns because he isn't ready to change his pronouns or dad title. To clear things up, my dad properly came out to my mom about a month ago. Since then, the two have been working on a way to tell both me and my sibling. My dad, being older, didn't realize how a private Instagram account works and never meant for me to see it. They created it to follow makeup tutorials and other gender-affirming communities. Also, we are living in Canada, which is run by the Liberal government, thankfully making it very safe to live as a member of the LGBTQ community. Final update. It's been 3 days since I found out, and I feel at ease. I talked through my dad's thought process, and I understand how he's been living his life for the past 50 years or so. I'm confident everything will turn out for the best. Thank you for all the kind and understanding comments, and F you to all those who are intolerant to those with a different lifestyle. Heart emoji. Someone said 50 plus is not unusual for someone to come out. They have been hiding their whole life and pretending to be someone they are not. Time takes its toll, and they just want to live the remainder of their lives as their true selves. Someone else said, your initial shock and confusion is completely understandable. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise or try to convince you that it's hate. Take care of yourself, be kind to your father, and maybe have some conversations about what's to come. I'm really glad him and his father ended up having a really good relationship after, and that they were able to talk like adults and through this process, and love is coming out of it. Someone said, your parent is changing, but not gone. My gas station customer told me, you must clean up after me, so I canceled his card. I was a gas station employee. I worked for several gas stations throughout my 20 plus years of working. I had a regular customer who would buy chips, ice cream, sandwiches, etc., and be rude by dropping the wrappers on the floor in front of me and would say, you get paid to clean up after me, so do it. He would do this on a regular basis. So our gas station had a requirement. If a customer wanted gas, they had to leave their credit card at the register and then go to pump their gas. So he did. I got tired of being treated like dirt, so I called the credit card company on the back of his card and said, I found this credit card on the ground. I don't know who it belongs to. So the credit card company thanked me for calling them and they would cancel the card. I'm like, okay, goodbye, and hang up the phone. 5 minutes later, the rude customer comes back in the store to settle on the $45.01 in gas he pumped. I swiped his card and it says declined. Use another form of payment. I asked the gentleman for another form of payment. He asked me to swipe it again, so I did. And again, I told him it was declined and I need another form of payment. He got pissed and paid with cash instead. Not to mention, he has to call the credit card company to get another card. Moral of the story, don't mess with the customer service reps because one day you'll regret it. Someone said genius. I have also worked in lots of customer service. I'm so sorry that that man treated you that way. Someone said, I love this. F him. He is such a jerk. Plus one wore a white dress because it wasn't a real wedding. Finally sitting down to summarize a wedding from several months ago, wherein the accused is apparently still adamant that she did nothing wrong. Two of my very good friends got married last autumn. They had their legal ceremony around 4 weeks before the wedding celebration. The legal wedding was just the bride and groom's parents, while the celebration was friends and family. There was no ceremony portion of the day, but before food and the party aspect, it was confirmed on the invite that the couple would re-change their vows in front of their guests. Come the day of the wedding, everyone was arriving. About 5 minutes before the beginning, when most people had sat down, a couple walked in. I recognized this man as one of the groom's friends, but not the woman. She was, I'd come to find out, the relatively new girlfriend of the friend. She was wearing a pure white haltered neck silk dress. Everyone else who was female was wearing standard day wedding guest attire. This woman stuck out like a sore thumb. After the vow exchange, a couple of the groom's friends did ask the friend what his girlfriend was thinking. He supposedly said words to the effect of, I said this would happen, but she didn't want to hear it. A few drinks later, for everyone involved, I gather that someone asked the girlfriend directly why she was wearing what surely was some version of a wedding dress in itself. Friend assuming, for some misguided reason, that she was being praised, said that since it wasn't a real wedding, and it was fair game to wear the dress, and perhaps it would give her boyfriend a clue on what they should be doing. The boyfriend, upon being told this, immediately ordered and gulped down a double whiskey. It goes without saying that the bride was wearing white, a lovely white summer dress that made her look beautiful. I gather from the side of both families that I suggested and nearly actioned that someone do the classic spill red wine on the guest's dress, but the bride intervened and said it would only give her the chance to bring more attention on herself. The only other defense brought by the girlfriend after the fact was that the invite didn't say that white was a banned color. Yes, it didn't, but we were all English in England at a religious English wedding. There are no blurred lines concerning culture and significant colors that she didn't know about beforehand. I know that for at least one wedding happening this year, the engaged couple have had a wedding invite in which the photo of the dress she wore to this wedding has been included with a big red cross through it, and texts accompanying to say that if the girlfriend thinks to wear this again, they won't even make it through the front door of the venue. Whoa. Someone said, I absolutely hope that your friend sent this invitation to that couple, and I wish I could see her reaction. It would absolutely be priceless. Am I overreacting? My fiance is trying to get with a woman who pays for the dirty, and now I don't want to marry him. I, 28-year-old female, found out my fiance, 32-year-old male, was trying to get with that kind of woman. He got caught and was arrested, but was released because it was his first time. Quotations around first time. This happened 8 months ago, and I just found out today. I can't help but feel disgusted and angry. He hid this from me for months. It only makes me wonder how much more he has been hiding from me, or things I have not found out about. So would I be overreacting to call off our wedding, which is in April? I don't think this is something I can get over. We have a family together and have been together for 6 years. I don't really know what to do. Not overreacting, someone said. Take it with a blessing in disguise. He will try again. You deserve someone loyal and caring, not that sorry excuse of a fiance. Someone else said, not overreacting. Probably not his first time, just first time getting caught. And he hid it from you. So sorry this happened to you, but you need to run. Someone said, not overreacting. He cheated on you. It doesn't matter that he paid for it and then he hid it from you and lied. Sounds like you put more into the last 6 years than he did. He doesn't even respect you. Why should you stay? My opinion is that you should kick him out of your life and find someone who treats you the way you deserve to be treated. How my janitor changed my life without a word. I was homeless for 6 months in 2011. I slept in my car I used to park behind a small church because it was dark and quiet. I thought nobody knew I was there. Every morning I'd wake up, drive to the gas station to wash my face, and go to work. Yes, I had a job, just couldn't afford rent. So sad. One night, it was freezing, 10 degrees. My car wouldn't start the heater. I was shivering so hard, my teeth hurt. I saw the back door of the church open. A janitor came out to dump the trash. He saw my car. He saw me hurtled in the front seat. He didn't call the cops. He didn't come over and tap on the window. He just walked back to the door, unlocked it, and propped it open with a small rock. Then he turned on the hallway light and left. I waited 10 minutes, then I ran inside and I was warm. There was a couch in the lobby. There was a bathroom with hot water. I slept there every night for the rest of the winter. Every night, the rock was there, and I never met the janitor. I never thanked him. I'm back on my feet now. Excuse me. And I have a house. I have a bed. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. But every year on, The first snow. I donate a check to the church and write for the heating bill and the memo line. Sometimes the loudest way to love your neighbor is to say nothing at all. Someone said thank you for the story. This made me cry and smile.